remember driving the Racebird back to the dock and being like, I really want to be a part of this. The engines are electronically limited to a certain top speed, so it's very fair across teams, and where you gain is your track strategy and your pilot strategy. There's a lot of strategy, but there's also a lot of mind games.
Hello, billionaires, and welcome to our podcast. Today we are honored to have Anna Glennon and Robert here with us. Thank you for coming. It's an honor having you guys here. We're gonna introduce Anna is a world champion for jet ski racing and 9-time national champion. So lots of championships, guys. Anna, if you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you covered the big parts.
Okay.
I'm a stand-up jet ski racer, originally from Kansas, and then later in life I transplanted to Lake Havasu City, which is the jet ski capital of the world. I grew a following online just for sharing my jet ski and dirt bike adventures, and Bruno actually was one of the first folks to be following along about 10 years ago, I think.
10 years ago, yes.
So we've been kind of gently chit-chatting throughout that time. Bruno's been a wonderful fan and supporter, and when I signed to race electric power boats for E1 Team Miami, he sent me a message and was like, let me know whenever you're in Miami. So now we're here. I've been racing jet skis for, I think, 14 years maybe.
Wow.
And in the last year, I received the wonderful opportunity to become part of the E1 series, which is an electric hydrofoil racing series, kind of the on-water equivalent to Formula E. I raced for E1 Team Miami, which is owned by Robert, who's here today with us, and it's been a wild ride, and now I'm here in Miami, home of Team E1 Miami.
Amazing. How's Miami treating you guys?
I love Miami. Robert's been here many, many times, but this is really my first time in Miami, and I've seen it on TV. I was a big Miami Vice fan growing up, and being a part of E1 Team Miami obviously made me an even bigger fan. So it's been wonderful. I had a very cool G-Wagon that I've been driving around all week from Bruno and the Billionaires team, and it's been wonderful to just, see the skylines, see the art. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, sky here is something else, right? Always blue, always great weather. Now, believe it or not, it's the winter. So you're wearing shorts and
Enjoying it.
Yeah, enjoying. I'm glad you enjoyed the G-Wagon. And tell us, how did you end up in the E1 series? How was the transition? Not transition because you race jet skis, right? So how did it happen? How was the...
Yeah, so earlier last year, the E1 series was doing like a training academy where they were pulling in athletes from all different kinds of disciplines. And I got the offer to go to a lake near Milan to test out. And initially, I wasn't so certain of, if I was going to be on a team or what the next year looked like. But I thought, I've never really been outside of the country. I might as well go and experience this. And at that time, I was not really a fan of electric. So I went on this adventure. I tested the Racebird for the first time. And I remember driving the Racebird back to the dock and being like, I really want to be a part of this.
Oh, wow.
And on my way home, I think within the first week, I had several calls from different teams. And I was kind of kicking it around. But then Robert from Team Miami called, and I just knew in my gut that I had to go with Miami because, Miami Vice was the powerboat show when I was growing up. And I wanted to be like Crockett and racing the boats, So when they called, I was like, forget all these other teams. I have to go with Team Miami. And that was before I had even heard about, Mark being one of the owners and being involved with him, Mark Anthony. And I was just like, I have to be a part of it. So now I'm here with Robert, who's my boss. And we're really having a great time. We had a great first season.
Full Miami experience and Miami Vice because cars and...
exactly, full circle.
And the race boats, yeah. So you can count on us. We're going to support you guys every time you guys in Miami. Count on Billionaires Miami to be with you, so your rides to the boats, enjoying the Miami Vice lifestyle. It's part of what we do here with the experience. It's not only about the cars, but how you feel Miami, how you experience Miami on board of these cars is something pretty different.
Yeah.
If you were driving just a regular, nothing bad with it, but just a regular Corolla around, I think it would be a different experience. Right?
A minivan rental doesn't really scream Miami.
Yes, exactly. So Robert,
Yes.
how did you meet Anna? How was the pitch
I
to
actually
bring her into the team?
So funny enough, my brother, who works full time for E1, helped me find Anna. We were very lucky. We launched the team very last minute, so last November.
Okay.
A lot of the other teams were launched like in May, June. So we didn't have a head start like the other teams. So we didn't have the first choice on all the drivers, but we got lucky. Anna was available.
Okay.
And literally we signed Anna in like a month of kind of launching the team. And then we have our male pilot is Eric Stark, who's from Sweden, Stockholm. He races in F1 in powerboat racing.
Oh, okay.
Not Formula One, but
So,
F1.
yeah, but
and
yeah,
he's
those are
he's
dangerous.
a bit like kind of Kimi Raikkonen.
Uh-huh.
Very
100%.
cool, very calm. Shows up to the races. He's not interested in spending time, say, on social media like Anna is. So it's actually a very, very good kind of dynamic. Anna is kind of, young, passionate.
Yes.
We're very talented at what she does, but brilliant on social media and digitally as well. She has a huge
She's brilliant.
following,
Yeah, I
as
love
you
her
know.
work. I've been following her for more than 10 years.
But
yeah.
Eric is he's a racer, like Kimi, and he's extremely talented. So the two of them together make a great combination.
Amazing.
But as I said, we launched the team last year. We had our first season this year. We had 5 races.
So for how long the series exists?
So it's new.
It's new,
a
right?
complete startup.
First, you guys came from the first year. You started in the first
season was this January 24 through September. We had 5 races in Saudi Arabia, in Venice, in Marbella, in Monaco, and then in Lake Como.
How did you guys do with
So we came
with
third in the
results?
championship.
Okay.
We wanted to win,
Congratulations.
but it was pretty good. Tom Brady's team won.
Yeah. So celebrities. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
There's so much to talk about.
Correct.
So the teams are pretty much owned by celebrities. All teams or no?
They're co-owned by the celebrities.
Okay.
So actually the vision, taking a step back, E1 was created by Alejandro Agag, who founded Formula E 12 years ago.
Okay.
Formula E is,
Yes.
racing is the electric version of Formula One. And Alejandro's vision 12 years ago was that all the car manufacturers were eventually going to go electric.
Yeah.
And there was no motor racing series to showcase electric technology.
Okay.
Because Formula One is not fully electric. So Formula E was
hybrid,
created.
yeah.
He had a lot of success with that. And it's now owned by Liberty, which is the same owners as Formula One.
Yes.
Fast forward to 3-4 years ago, Alejandro had the same vision as
On the
Formula E
boats.
with cars, but with boats.
Wow.
And he realized that all the boat manufacturers were going to go electric. And so he created E1. He got PIF, which is the Saudi Public Investment Fund, to back the league. They're very strategic.
That's why you guys went to Saudi
That's why
Arabia.
we did our first race
on
this
the
year
first-
in Jeddah.
Okay.
They're highly strategic. They, as you know, they're doing lots of things in golf and tennis now. But what he did very cleverly, which sold me as a team owner, was that he brought in celebrities as co-owners of each of the teams. Alejandro saw how Drive to Survive was so successful for Formula One with Netflix.
Yeah, it changed the whole game.
Changed the whole game in the US,
Yeah.
online, digitally. And he wanted to build the fan base online, digitally with E1.
Okay.
So each team has a celebrity co-owner. And then on top of that, which is really interesting, it's the first series in the world, I believe, to have a male and female pilot.
Okay.
So Formula One, you have 2 male pilots. In E1, you have a female driver
It's always
and a male driver.
a female and a male. All
For every
teams.
team, every team.
That's
So they're very
interesting.
focused on gender equality.
Okay.
So they're doing things very differently. The goal, so we're going into season 2 next year. We're
Okay.
going to have 7 races minimum, maybe 8.
Amazing.
The final race of next season in November 25, on the 7th and 8th of November, will be in Miami.
Great.
And we are
Can't wait.
the local promoters of the Miami race.
Okay.
When Mark Anthony and my team were negotiating the deal with E1, we said not only do we want to have a Miami team, we want to have a Miami race and bring E1 to Miami. So we're very excited about that. We had
Miami deserves this. Come
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
We had the announcement event last week on Thursday. The mayor came, Francis Suarez.
Okay.
We did it. The race is going to be at the Marine Stadium,
Where
which
you
is
used
on
to
the
be
way
before.
where they
like
used
that,
to have like powerboat
nice.
racing in the 80s. It's an
Yes.
iconic stadium. We did the announcement event right next door at the Rusty Pelican. And, we're very excited. We've got a lot of people in Miami very excited that
Nice.
E1 racing is
And then
coming.
Mark Anthony is your co-owner.
He's our partner co-owner, and
Okay.
he, of all the celebrities, I might be biased.
He's
but
very
Anna-
loved here in
he-
Miami. Everybody
he's
loves
Mr.
Mark
Miami.
Anthony.
He's
Yes,
loved, but
yes,
also
yeah.
he's the most vested of all the
100%.
celebrities. Boating is in his blood. He owns 3 boats, but he loves being on the water,
Oh,
and he really loves this venture. So he came to the first 3 races
Wow.
in Jeddah, in Venice, and then in Marbella.
Okay.
He was, of all the celebrities, he attended the most races. We were at his house actually on Monday. We did like a team kind of event and drinks there, and we're catching up for the first season on everything. But he's great to work with, great partner, loves Anna,
Yeah,
loves
that's
Anna.
amazing. Yeah, you can tell
Like
you guys
they've got
have
a great
connection.
relationship, and you
Yes,
probably
yes.
see from Anna's social, they're
Yeah.
very close.
Yes, yeah.
So we're very blessed. We have a great team, great partners, great
And,
investors, great Magnus and Mark Anthony. That's his
That's
company.
his company, right? He manages talents and
Correct.
celebrities.
They're our partners, and then Eric, Anna, are the back office. Everyone is great.
And how is the mechanical side? Because it's electric,
Yeah.
but it's on the water.
It's
I
on the
know
water.
boats are usually there's a lot of problems. Now, looking forward to the technology,
Yeah.
what do you guys think about the electric technology on the boats? Like, you have less problems than regular motors, or you still
It's
have?
not that complicated actually. So Seabird, they developed the boat. It's not like a Formula One car. It's not as complicated to operate. I think as the season, I'm sure Anna would agree, as the seasons evolve, the boats will get faster.
Okay.
So right now they go to about 60 knots.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So I think the goal is to eventually get them up to 100, knots. And not like Formula E, the cars will evolve.
Yeah.
So in Formula E, when they first started, the battery didn't last
They
the whole
changed
race.
cars.
They had to
They
change.
used to
They had to
switch
change
cars,
battery.
yeah,
They had to
yeah.
switch cars.
Yeah.
So I'm sure things will evolve over the next few seasons.
To recharge. But talking about, like, okay, you have all kinds of mechanical problems when running either a race boat or a race car with regular combustion engine. How many engines, for example, you guys use throughout the season? Like,
I can
it's-
kind of speak to some of that. To be
Yeah.
honest, the engines this season were very reliable. We didn't really have any technical problems in terms of the engines themselves. I think where we really pushed the boat was more from like a body standpoint and the hull itself. The Racebird, this is the first season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these boats were developed just a year or two ago, and this was really the first test. But it was also the first test with racing drivers that wanted to win. So we were really
yeah.
pushing them. So I think if anything, we navigated some ups and downs with the holes themselves. I think really the biggest one for us was in Puerto Banús in Marbella when we won. The waves were probably 10 or 12 feet high. So that was the first time the Racebird had ever been driven in those conditions. And we saw at that time, the way the hull is designed, you can take the nose and the wings off so it can be transported easier.
Okay.
And at that time, we found that in those big waves, if the nose hit the water too hard, it blew them sky high. So there's all these videos of these noses going in the air. And so we learned that needed to be reinforced. So going into Monaco at the next round, the teams went back, they reinforced those, and then it wasn't an issue again. So it's really been interesting from a technology standpoint because we're the guinea pigs. This is the
Okay.
first season, and the drivers got to test everything
And
out.
how are the limitations for you guys? Because Formula One, for example, is very, very limited of what you can do developing like new wings and
Right.
on the Racebird, you still have a lot of limitations, or you pretty much
In the first few
Free to-
seasons, they're keeping things very even amongst the teams. A lot of the teams are coming from backgrounds unrelated to water. We're very fortunate that Eric comes from powerboating, I come from jet ski racing, and a lot of our engineers come from those backgrounds as well. But some of the other teams came from road racing or off-road rallying. A lot of the drivers have never driven a boat until they got involved in E1. So they put several limitations on us to make things fair. If Eric and I were to talk to the engineers and tell them how to bend the props and things, we'd probably smoke everyone. So for now, it's a lot like Formula One where you have 3 different propellers
it
that you
is
can
limited
choose from.
then.
Yes, so the engines are electronically limited to a certain top speed. So it's very fair across teams, and where you gain is, your track strategy and your pilot strategy and your long lap strategy. So you can still be faster than everybody else, but it's not going to come from, mechanical development. At least for the first few seasons, there's already discussion about loosening up the rules a little bit.
And let's tell them how the start works. You were telling me how the start is pretty interesting. I've never seen any other sport with a start like that. So if you can go
Yeah,
over
so the
process
starts
of
are
this.
really unique. Typically we have 4 to 5 race birds in each race, and there's a countdown for the start. I think it's usually starting at 5 minutes. So once all 4 boats are out, they're allowed to kind of cruise around anywhere on the opposite side of the starting line, so before the track. So for about 5 minutes, we're allowed to cruise around kind of wherever we want, so long as we don't cross the starting line before the timer hits 0. So there's strategy there. If you want to just stay still and then take off right before, you can. If you want to take a run at it, you can. If you want to cruise up to the starting line at a slow speed, you can. So there's a lot of strategy, but there's also a lot of mind games, because if you're kind of cruising around but you see your competition take off, you might jump and do it as well. So as long as you don't jump the starting line before it hits zero, you can do whatever you want. So there's a ton of strategy
That's
there.
amazing. Yeah, I've never seen. I'll actually watch the start, because I've seen videos of the race birds racing and driving around, but not the start. So I'm pretty curious. Did anybody, how do you call it, burn the start, like cross it
Yes,
before?
there were quite a few
during the
people.
season?
I think Eric did it maybe once. I think we had two really big starts. One in Venice, where Eric he never fell off the foils and he just drove by everybody. And then in Monaco, I finally got my big start, and I timed it just perfectly and was just 5 or 6 boat lengths ahead of everyone with the
Wow.
Monaco skyline. It was awesome. But yeah, there's a lot of strategy there. I know it's pretty easy to jump it, because you have to be able to time how quickly you're headed towards the starting line while you're looking at a digital counter on your display.
Okay, that's amazing. Yes, pretty cool.
I think, the other thing I would say is we are very kind of honored and privileged to have two great partners on our team in Azimuth and right here and Belova. So Belova is a watch company. They're owned by Citizens, which is a Japanese huge company.
Yeah.
And Mark actually has worked with them as a brand ambassador for many years.
Wow, so he was able to
So
bring.
that when we launched the team, Magnus, his company, helped bring Belova in as our first sponsor.
Nice.
But what we've done with Belova, which is really exciting, is we created a Team Miami limited edition watch,
Beautiful, yes.
which is amazing. It's going on sale in early next year in January.
Okay.
And, they think it's going to be one of the best-selling watches they've ever launched. That's limited edition.
Yes, Miami completely.
The Miami
nice.
colors,
Yes,
in our blue. So
Yeah,
we're very
yeah.
excited about that. And then Azimuth, we just re-signed them as a partner for 2025 for season
Beautiful.
2. They came on board for the 2 European races this year in Lake Como and Monaco. They were very, very kind of impressed with E1, what we stand for in terms of sustainability.
Where this is going for sure, what
The
they can
access-
benefit from this,
the access
right?
that they get to the individuals, in the hospitality. So the hospitality that we have at each race is called the Ocean Club. It's the equivalent of the Paddock Club in F1.
Yes, but the Ocean Club.
Very,
pretty
very
cool.
high end, cool name. And so for Azimuth, their goal is how can they look after and entertain their existing clients, and how can they bring new clients in to buy their boats.
And the very beginning is the right time to.
It's coming in
start
now.
being
They get a
part
much
of it.
better
Yes,
deal than
yes.
if they waited,
a lot more
another few
visibility
seasons.
and association with the brand,
correct.
with the sport. Yeah. And which ones are the celebrities that owns the teams? Do you know some of them or all of them?
They're all. So right now there's 9 teams.
Okay.
Team Miami's one of the 9. There's
Mark
8
Anthony,
other
Team
teams.
Miami.
You have Team Brady, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
You've got Rafael Nadal, Team Nadal.
Oh, that's
Team
nice.
Rafa. You have Sergio Perez, Team Checo. You've
Wow.
got Steve Aoki, the DJ,
That's
Team
so cool.
Aoki. Will Smith.
Wow.
He named it after his production company, Westbrook Racing.
Okay.
Then you have Team Brazil, which is
Brazil.
actually launched by Marcelo Claure. He's a very well-known
Marcelo
businessman
Claure, yeah.
in Miami.
Yeah, yeah.
He called it Team Brazil because he loves Brazil.
That's
And then
nice.
you have Team Miami. And they're about to announce in the next few weeks 2 new teams.
Then still secret.
Well,
Top secret.
Top secret, but
secret.
they're
No,
very,
no
very
letting it out.
well-known celebrities.
You
Amazing.
forgot
The last team is Virat Kohli.
yes,
So
and Drogba.
Team Blue Rising. So Virat Kohli is actually the 3rd most followed athlete on Instagram in the world after Messi and Ronaldo.
What is
He's
he?
a
Is
cricket player
a cricket,
in
okay.
India.
Oh, wow.
Huge. So he launched a team called Team Blue Rising. And then the last team is Team Drogba. So Didier Drogba, he was a football player for Chelsea
Okay.
for many years. He's from the Ivory Coast in Africa. He's a really great guy.
So it is like a world league.
The world of
different
like,
countries.
So the
different.
combined reach of the celebrities,
Yeah.
I believe, is about 500 million.
Wow, that's amazing, guys!
So it's
Congratulations!
big,
Yes, I wish you guys a lot of success.
Thank you.
On this journey. I want to be part of it as much as possible.
Well, we'd love, as talking of sponsors,
Yes.
we'd love to bring Billionaires Miami
Yes,
in
that would be
as a partner sponsor, maybe of the Miami race next year.
Absolutely, yes.
We'd
That's,
love to have you as a partner of the team.
Yes.
Thank you for having us here in your amazing
Yeah,
office.
We always, gonna support you guys as much as we can
Thank you.
to be part of it. It's pretty interesting, the whole league, and also, like you're saying, the paddock club for us on Formula One is very important. We have all the members to the Miami GP, Las Vegas, Monaco, and São Paulo. So we have the membership program here on our side that we bring our members in, and it would be amazing to bring them
So
to
we could try and
the
do the same
boat
thing.
race.
That would
Yeah,
be great.
for sure. Let's definitely do that. Take a look at the VIP areas.
Yeah.
And
Well, we should also have
start
you
there.
maybe to one of the other races before Miami. Come,
Yeah,
you know,
just to
just
go
to see
myself.
it.
Yeah,
So
and
maybe
see it
come
and
to the
experience. Yeah.
the first race is on the 24th, 25th of January, 25 in Jeddah again.
Okay.
Then we go to Qatar, to Doha on the
Nice.
23rd, 24th of February. And then from there we go to Africa, Europe, and then America.
Wow, it is a world.
So it's a
world league.
world thing. But you need to come and experience and see
And
it.
always in ocean.
How is the
Always in ocean, or you
always
have
by
lake,
the
lake
ocean?
races? No, it's
The Lake Como was a lake
Lake
race.
Como, yeah.
Otherwise, it was all on the in the ocean.
on the ocean.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's keep following them. Instagram, JetGirl777,
Yep, JetGirl_777 and E1 Team Miami.
E1 Team Miami. You have any
E1
other
Team
social
Miami.
media? It's E1.
I have one, but
He likes to be behind the scenes.
Yeah, I like to be behind the scenes, but my Instagram is @rjacobi,
Nice.
RJAKOBI.
Yeah. And you have a story with the Brazilian legend.
Yes.
Tell us a
yeah,
little bit
I've said-
about that before you
So,
guys go.
walking in here, it was great to meet Zhao and you, Bruno. Seeing Ayrton Senna kind of everywhere inside
Yes.
the office here. My father was his manager for many, many years.
Yeah.
Has been working in Formula One for 40 years now.
Wow.
Over the years has managed Senna. He managed Senna and Prost at the same time at McLaren, which was pretty amazing.
Wow.
And then, unfortunately, Ayrton passed away, but he built this agency, which he started with Ayrton, into probably the most influential driver management agencies in the world.
And he's still working? with
Still
that?
working. So he manages Checo today.
Wow.
They actually manage Pietro Fittipaldi, the Brazilian
nice, yeah.
racing
He's,
driver who drives
He's a
for
very good
Haas.
friend with him. He
So
makes-
Pietro,
yes, yeah.
okay, so
Yeah.
we look after Pietro, a number of IndyCar drivers, Formula E drivers. Lucas de Grassi is a client,
Oh, nice.
Brazilian.
Brazilian, successful.
Jean-Eric Verne, who used to work in Formula One. So they look after about 7 or 8 drivers in Formula E,
Okay.
a few drivers in Formula One, IndyCar.
Amazing.
But yeah, that's
in the name
world
of the
I grew up
country,
in.
thank you so much to your dad
Obrigado.
for
Obrigado.
being part of one of the biggest heroes in that the country ever had. And
Obrigado.
that's
Dale
amazing.
Brasil.
Yes. So about athletes, now we spoke about Ayrton Senna. Can you name your top athletes, like 3 and 3? 3 of each
That
top
we love?
athletes. It doesn't matter where from, like motocross,
that.
racing, jet skiing. Like which one's
First
that?
and foremost, I'm going to say Dale Earnhardt because of his personality. I like to try and bring a little bit of that to the
Okay.
E1 paddock. I'm going to say Jam and Jeff Jacobs, the jet ski racer. He's one of my biggest heroes. And then Christy Carlson, the blonde bombshell, also a jet ski racer, but she really inspired me to just be a real person.
Amazing, amazing. And you, Robert, you have
I would say obviously Ayrton Senna for sure. I mean,
Amazing.
I'm not from Brazil, but I grew up very close to Brazil.
Yeah.
I think, even 30 years today after his death, he's
Yeah.
still the greatest
A
hero you've
legend.
ever had, a legend.
Yes.
But the way that he conducted himself on and off the track is legendary. So he,
Amazing.
for me, is one of my biggest heroes. Roger Federer in tennis.
Oh yes.
Again, very similar to Ayrton Senna, just a gentleman, just loved by everyone. For me, the most talented player of all time.
Yeah.
He hasn't won the most Grand Slams with Djokovic, but watching him growing up was like an art, like a bit
Amazing.
like
Yes,
Ayrton.
yes.
And then the last athlete for me probably would be Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods.
I was a very, very keen golfer growing up. I, at one point, wanted to be professional.
Oh, wow.
My father, being an agent, steered me away and wanted me to focus on going to university and education. But I was, at one point, had a very low handicap. And when I was growing up, Tiger Woods was in his prime. And just the way that he dominated the sport was unbelievable.
Yes,
So I would say those 3.
Okay, guys, big pleasure having
Thank
you
you.
here.
Thank you
I know
so
you guys
much.
gotta
Thank
catch a
you.
flight,
Yeah.
so see you guys next time in Miami.
Great,
Thank you,
great.
Robert.
Thank you for having
Thank
us,
you.
Bruno.
Thank you
really
very much.
great. Thank you, Anna, for setting
thank
this
you.
up.
Yeah, of
Yes.
course.